this video, I'm going to break down, react, and review Nicole Scherzinger singing Phantom of the Opera from Phantom of the Opera. So let's sing something. La la la! If you are new to my channel, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that little bell icon because my channel teaches you how to sing. Yay! Now today, I'm going to go over the vocals of Nicole Scherzinger singing Phantom of the Opera from Phantom of the Opera. But things are going to work a little bit differently. Today, I have a guest. He actually has an amazing channel here on YouTube where he does reaction reviews, and I love them. So I was like, hey, we need a collab. So he's going to collaborate with me on it today in kind of a quarantine style across the world. So without further ado, introducing SST Vocal Coach.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you for having me.
You're totally welcome. This is very fun, actually.
I know.
I'm out here in Thailand and you're in
sunny Glasgow.
Oh.
Don't get jealous. Don't get jealous. The weather here is amazing.
All right. Well, let's get started then. Yeah.
Very excited. Let's do this. That's such a full sound. Yeah.
Sleep, he sang to me. In dreams he came. That voice which calls to me and speaks my name. And do I dream again?
So here we can hear like a real distinction between how we would be used to hearing this. The Phantom of the Opera is a very operatic style. It's not full-on opera, but it certainly kind of leans towards that direction. But Nicole, she's given it that kind of pop edge. There's a little shade of kind of, it's not as formal, if that makes sense. It's got that little bit of colloquialism. I'm not sure.
Colloquialism?
Yeah. Why am I using that phrase?
I don't know, but I think that's awesome. I gotta use that word more. Colloquialism.
It just feels a little bit more personal over performed. There's no right or wrong to this. It's whatever kind of style you prefer. I would say operatic is more in keeping with the show and the character, but she's still giving it a really nice start. Really good.
Yeah, and it's definitely deeper placed. Normally, Christine is much higher and lighter of a character, and she's playing this a little bit sultry for Christine.
Yeah, it's kind of sexy.
Sexy Christine.
Phantom of the Sexy Opera. Starting to round that out now.
Better.
Inside my
So now we can definitely hear that operatic energy come through. She's really getting that sweetness out of tilting her thyroid forward, and that's encouraging that really heavy vibrato. And when you combine that with that dropped larynx sound, you get that really rich, dark, kind of velvety tone. It's really far away from where she sings normally, from what I hear of her.
Oh, yeah.
She's modifying her vowels in a way to make them a lot more open and a lot rounder, whereas usually that pop style kind of compresses them slightly so that it sits on a kind of a more singular plane. This has got a lot more dynamic movement.
Yeah, for sure.
Once again with me, a strange duet. My power over you grows stronger yet. And though you turn from me to glow.
Okay, I gotta stop there. That's like, man, just coming right out from the start. Like, and that's also not even necessarily a phantom thing, because usually you hear I think it's interesting because those vowels were more, I felt that was more pop and more contemporary. It wasn't as round as it normally would be. It's like they switched, you know?
It's almost like they're starting to kind of blend together. Two worlds collide.
I don't know. Do we want them to collide?
We'll find out.
Yeah.
The first guy that came in, he had a lot more kind of twang to his voice. The other one still had that same high place and it was still quite twangy, but you could hear as he was tilting over some of those phrases, you got almost a little bit of a cry on it as well.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
yeah.
although they were kind of similar, there was just a couple of wee things that set them apart. But if you weren't concentrating, you could kind of think that was the same person.
Yeah, actually, I wasn't sure about that. I was like,
Do you like to sing? Then you should join my Facebook group. We go live with vocal warm-ups, singing Saturdays, warm-up Wednesdays, and even our monthly group challenge with all sorts of prizes. Click the link in the description below and join our creative community of singers just like you.
What's behind the phantom of the opera is there inside your mind.
oh. I gotta point out the fact that she's like, staring. She's got the. Like, it's not just staring, but
Is it intense or is it who do you think you're talking to? Huh?
yeah. Or it's the common you know,
Yeah.
I can't say that on YouTube.
Someone got my sexy tone.
She's like, oh, you want to get some too? All right, fine.
Oh, Nicole. You minx.
Those who have seen your face draw back in fear. I am the mask you wear.
It's me they hear. My
Spirit and my voice in one combined.
So isn't it funny how we consider Christine to be that kind of high, ringy, pingy, almost young sounding voice? And then the Phantom's the big voice through the floor style. Whereas this has turned out completely the other way around. Every time Nicole comes back in, she's going, whoa, 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 whoa. It's really deep placed for a female. And then you've got all the guys going, the fan. It's all like up here. Apart from that one guy who is now standing next to her, he to me is embodying the Phantom in the way that I would envision it. So I'm not saying that he's the best one or he's doing it better than the others, but in my head, the Phantom of the Opera in my mind is that guy.
Now, my question is, are these all previous Phantoms? And if they are, did they perform it on Broadway like this? Okay, here we go.
Phantom of the opera is there inside
Nah, we're about to get into the moment of truth. All right.
The big bit.
Yeah, and it was interesting. The fool, not the fan, the fool. She like really playing that up a lot.
It's like she is like, I know this sounds really weird, but it's like she's one of the lads. Like they're all going, oh, and she's like, there goes, oh, matching them, you know. So the interesting thing is the guy with the beard. He's actually modified his singing voice in his second part. So the first one, he was quite twangy and he matched the guy previous to him. And now he's kind of coming in and kind of matching Nicole's recipe a wee bit more. She's rounding everything out a little bit more and he's dropping that tone to make it as heavy and as smoky as hers. He's a great singer.
That's interesting. That I wonder if that's like a musical direction. They had to have had rehearsal. They had to have a music director to say, hey, I need this more of a tone, or I need this blended, or what. I mean, I'm assuming. I would hope so. So it's interesting that he would make the choice, or if a musical director would make the choice for him to adapt, I wonder what the circumstances and the history on that.
This would have been a fun one to rehearse. Could you imagine
Yeah.
all 4 of them? And then just being in the middle and being like, I'm just going to be as dark and as deep as you guys.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
I got cojones, bring it on, baby. I can do that too. Yeah. Good for her.
Good
Do it.
for her.
Do it, honey. Okay, here we go. Ooh, that's nice.
All your fantasies, you always knew that man and mystery.
We're both in
It's almost rock.
you. This
Yeah, it's getting that way, isn't it? His jaw.
It's very dark. They've really chosen to make this whole thing very dark. And I, as a musical theater person, a little bit more, I actually know this musical quite well. I've seen it like, I don't know how many times, 16, 17, 18 times. I've seen it in San Francisco, Los Angeles, Las Vegas, London, you name it. Like, this was my childhood musical. And I've never heard it so dark. Usually the character of the Phantom, at least from one of my favorite experiences, is that the Phantom is supposed to be this artist that's like broken and he's disfigured and he's the Phantom. And then Christine comes in and he's able to kind of, in some ways, put a spell, but bring out her voice so she can sing his music because he's ugly and disfigured and this broken artist. And so you feel for him and you have pain for him and you love him, even though he's a little bit crazy. But he's that kind of crazy that you're like, I kind of like it crazy, you know, that kind of crazy. That's him. And this feels so almost aggressive and dark and not broken, passionate love. And as they come together and it's torment of painful love, but he's there in my dreams haunting me, yet a back story of, I kind of love him. And I kind of like, you know, it's this push and pull, and I don't feel any of that. I just feel this like in this one behind it. So
there's maybe something even in the presentation of this that's giving off that energy as well, because the interaction, she's kind of dealing with so many people at the same time, and if you look at them now, they're all standing as a unit. Like, they are like, we are the Phantom of the Opera, you know. I'm not getting all of the story out of it.
Yeah,
I'm enjoying the hell out of it. I think it's really, really fun. But yeah, from what you've described in the musical, news to me. And
yeah.
I have actually seen this, but I was like a kid and it was in Edinburgh. And the only thing I really remember was a chandelier, a huge chandelier came flying down the middle of the stage.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh. And our math teacher took us to see this. And she said, look over there. And I looked and she smashed my ice cream into my face.
That's a mean math teacher. That's a horrible experience.
Oh, yeah. I remember you, Miss Donaldson.
You're calling her out. Haters are
calling
gonna
her out.
come out. She's gonna get a hate page on Miss Donaldson, and they're
Oh,
gonna
no,
find her.
She's a lovely woman. She's a lovely woman. I wasn't very good at math.
All right. Okay, I gotta say something. Usually this is not. It's very. She like really pinged it out.
Yeah.
When the rest of her's been really round, and this one she decided on this section, which is normally very full, she's pinging it.
Well, there's maybe a little bit of the pop training in that's coming in to influence it, because sometimes in pop we think higher note, higher larynx, whereas in everything operatic, it doesn't matter where the note is. You're trying to keep that larynx a little bit
Yeah.
lower to make that sound a bit darker. So if she's taken what is essentially a sob and turned it into a cry, you're getting
Yeah.
the same kind of the same kind of sound, but on a completely different plane.
Yeah.
She's still getting all
Totally.
that lovely vibrato coming through, still got all that tilt there, but yeah, it just sounds a lot lighter.
Yeah, this is just really cool. I love this. I'm really enjoying this. I know some of you watching are like, God, they're so mean or critical. No, it's actually really cool to see something flipped and approached a different way. I think this is amazing.
Everything all of them are doing is bang on. I mean,
Yeah.
they're world-class entertainers. So basically, you're just trying to figure out what they're doing and why.
Yeah, bang on. I gotta use that word. Bang on. What was the other one?
Miss Donaldson?
No! The big word in the beginning.
Colloquialism.
Colloquialism. That's going on my list. Colloquialism and bang on. They're just so on the same level.
They speak to me.
Mhm. Ooh.
He's going for it.
Let's see. Nice. Go ahead and click here for my free downloadable cheat sheet on how to sing like Nicole Scherzinger. Click here for Sam's awesome YouTube channel teaching you more about how to sing and how to use your vocals and all that cool, amazing stuff. And if you are a singer, then you should join me in my Facebook group. The link is down below, and I will see you in the next song. La la la!